Okay, hello everybody. The other day after class, a student came down and asked me about one particular thing about the print statement, and it got me thinking, saying, "Hey, maybe you guys haven't seen this before. Maybe it's been some time since you've seen it." So I just want to take I hope there's no more than 5 minutes when I'm finished. Okay, so let me start off by explaining what I've got here. I've got a simple program. It prints 1, 2, 3. Okay, and yeah, there's absolutely no big surprise. When I run this program, it does exactly what you expect. It prints 1, 2, and 3. But of course, what I'm interested in pointing out today is, okay, well, notice about what it's done. The word 1 appears on the first line, 2 appears on the second line, 3 appears on the last line. Okay, so in other words, it's going down to the beginning of the next line. And you may say, well, fine, that's just the way how print works. And yeah, that kind of is the way how print works, but I would like to introduce to you an extra parameter. Now, I think you already know that I can include as many things as I want. Like, for example, if I say 1 QWERTY 2 3 and run this, you can see what it does is it puts 1 QWERTY, and of course it even is very nice and it puts a space between it for me. But I would like to introduce another parameter in here called END, okay? In other words, the end. All right, and here's what I want to do. The end is a string that will go at the end of the print statement. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a period here for this one. And down here, I'm going to say end is equal to, and I'm going to put a, let's say, we'll put a dash, okay? All right, so I want you to take a look at what happens when I run this program. So what I'm asking for is I'm asking to please print out a 1 followed by a dot, followed by a 2, followed by a dash, followed by a 3. But let's take a look at the output when I run it. Okay, yes, of course I want to save it. Here we go. So take a look at this. You'll notice first of all that everything appears on the same line. That's a bit unexpected because that's not normally how it works. And instead of going down to the next line, it actually printed a dot after 1, and of course it printed the dash after 2. In other words, what normally happens is it looks like this, and I'm hoping that you've seen this in INFS C1101. The \n is a special character to say to go to the next line. You see, this is normally the character that shows up. Okay, so if you don't put in this end, it will end up putting a \n. But if you wanted to have something different, well, you can put whatever you want. There are two fairly common times where we end up using this. So let me explain this. I'll put together a small loop. All right, so I'm going to write up a for loop, and I'm going to say for I in range, here's that I thing I talked about the other day, and I'm just going to say 10, okay, because I just need numbers, and this is numbers from from 0 to 9, okay, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, indent. I just want to print the letter, or print the value called I. All right, this does exactly what you expected it is. It prints 1 through 9, and it puts a new line character between each. So basically we end up with a new line, or we end up with every number on its own. But let me show you a couple of other things. Like, for example, if I say end is equal to comma, okay, and I'll save this one and run it, take a look what happens as a result. Okay, so you see now it prints horizontally rather than vertically because instead of putting a new line character, it's put a comma. Of course, it's put this extra comma at the end. Maybe we don't want, but that's fine. I would say the most common things that are used, there are two places. A lot of people will stick spaces at the end of things. So if you want to print out a big long list of things, you can do this and put spaces between them so at least you can tell where they are. The other really popular one is this option right here, which of course is the empty string. So it says print out the number 0 followed by nothing, followed by 1, followed by nothing. The result is maybe a little bit strange looking because what it's doing is it's literally printing out 0 followed by nothing, followed by 1, followed by nothing, and so on. And it ends up printing what looks to be a very long number, but of course it isn't. It was just actually a bunch of individual numbers, but they were all sort of jammed together onto a single line. Okay, so that's what this end parameter means when you see it on the print statement.